Hey, GLP-1 Plus SideZ community. Before we jump into the podcast, please take the time to leave us a 5-star review on whatever audio platform you're listening to the podcast on. Share your story and how the podcast has helped you. This will help us get referred up in the audio platform so that we can reach more people that need our help, our support, and guidance from our doctors. Help us get loud and change things. Are you interested in understanding GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, wegovy, or Mounjaro? Then join us on the Plus SideZ Cracking the Obesity Code, the groundbreaking podcast helping people change their lives one episode at a time. The Plus SideZ Podcast is a disruptor. We're breaking down barriers, smashing stereotypes, and sharing inspiring stories that'll leave you feeling informed and empowered. Join us every week to learn from doctors who are specialists around GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, wegovy, and Mounjaro. They'll provide you with science and facts to validate these incredible stories. But that's not all. We'll also bring you the voices of the GLP-1 Mounjaro TikTok community, real people who face the challenges of obesity-related diseases and disorders and discovered the incredible plus sides of GLP-1 medications. Our episodes are filled with heartwarming stories, laughter, and moments of triumph. You'll connect with our amazing community members who are reclaiming their health and experiencing their fullest lives. Are you ready to embark on a journey of discovery and empowerment? Tune in to the Plus SideZ Cracking the Obesity Code, and together we'll change the narrative around obesity and end the stigma. Subscribe now on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform and join our incredible community. Let's celebrate the plus sides of life together, because every story deserves to be heard. Every life deserves to shine, and everyone deserves access to expert knowledge and medication. The Plus SideZ Podcast. You're not alone. It's not your fault. Hey everyone, before we dive in, I really want to share something personal with you. About, I want to say like 8 to 10 months ago, after losing 100 pounds on GLP-1s and keeping it off for a long time, I started regaining out of nowhere, and I was terrified. But I also started having hot flashes and bouts of crying and snacky cravings and waking up at 3 a.m. unable to go back to sleep. It turns out I was in perimenopause. So I started hormone replacement therapy, which is also called HRT, through a telehealth called Winona that specializes in this. And it changed everything. And now I'm sleeping better and my hot flashes are all but gone, thank God. And I feel like myself again. And it turns out that you can actually start perimenopause as early as 35. And well, I'm 46 and she's here. HRT has really come a long way and there's just no need to suffer anymore. So if you're like this and you're in the same boat, you can check out buywinona.com and you can use the link in our link tree to save some money.
Want the fastest working GLP-1? For half the price, Ro now offers FDA-approved weight loss injections cheaper. With results you can see faster. Lose 15% of your weight with the formula from Eli Lilly that hits not one, but 2 hormones to curb hunger and nausea. Weight loss faster. Confidence higher. Price cheaper. See if you qualify at ro.co/TV.
To the Plus SideZ Podcast. Hey, Kat.
Hi.
Let's talk about favorite subject, which is health and wellness. On the Plus SideZ Podcast. Why did I even start that?
I like it.
It's a thing now.
Spirit fingers or evangelists. Either way.
That's right, evangelists. That's why I started it. Because we're GLP-1 evangelists. Guys, if you want to give us a review, that'd be great. If you would like to say something mean, maybe don't do it in a review. Like if you have feedback, email theplussides@gmail.com. Instead of giving us a cat review because you think that Kat and I talked too much in the beginning. That's why God made fast forward. I'm just saying it. Be nice. Let's all do better.
I love you for listening to me, though.
Yes. And for those of you who have stayed and listened to me, I still love you. Just if you want to give me feedback, I'll listen. I like feedback, but please don't tank our reviews. It's not nice. Okay. That is all. So saucy tonight. Oh my gosh. All right, we'll move on.
Saucy.
Whatever, I'll tell you. I have reasons. I have a list of reasons why the saltiness is here. But for sure, the people who give us poo-poo reviews because they don't like that we talk too much in the intros. Not nice. Okay. I just want to say, for the record, plenty of people talk for 5 minutes in their intros. All right, we can move on now. Anyway, so this evening, we have a very special guest. I'm going to invite him in. One sec.
And then we'll shut up.
We will. And then
Hello,
everybody's
everyone.
happy because we'll shut up. Welcome, Jhon Henri. How are you?
Welcome.
Doing the evangelist hands.
Evangelist hands.
I got the
spirit
spirit today.
Yeah, I'm telling
Or
you,
spirit fingers.
you know how we get like really like amped, you know? And Dave was the one that said it. He came into my live when because he and I knew each other from YouTube, and he came in my live on TikTok, and he was like, "Man, y'all hustled the GLP-1 gospel like crazy over here. Like, I had no idea." And I was like, "Oh yeah, hallelujah." And he was like, "GLP-1 evangelist." And I was like,
Please,
"That is what it is. Hallelujah."
please take
Yes.
open the book of Ozempic.
Yes. Tune it into 0.25.
I love it. that works perfect. Anyway, see, we're funny. Most people like it. Anyway,
Thank you.
we're so glad to have you here. I actually caught your live when you were live with another one of our guests recently, Dominique, and I was like, "What a good live! Like, what a good story!" And I'm so glad that you're here to tell us your story on the podcast. So, Kat and I will mute a little so that you can take the space, and then if we want to talk more about it, if you're open to that afterwards, we will. Cool.
Oh, perfect.
But if,
And
I will
so
say,
once
if you
again,
do say something that is my complete jam, I might interact and be like, "Yes," and then come back out.
And then she'll back here. Yeah, we both do that. We try not to, but we're like empathizers, like so we're like social, and so we like, oh, I understand, same, you know. And then the problem is then people give us bad reviews because we talk too much. Okay, anyway.
well, please interject. Trust me, you're not bothering me at all. So please
See?
interject.
We have
And thank you all for
permission.
having me.
We're so glad to have you. Okay, we're going to be quiet and let you take the space.
First of all, before I forget, men's health. Yes, you need to do butt stuff too. These medicines, they will eat up your butt. So make sure you do butt stuff in the gym. Now, hello everyone. My name is Jhon Henri, and I'm on a health journey using multiple tools. So here's a little bit about my story. So I have been a quote unquote, from what my family likes to say, a biggin all my life. And you know what? That's okay. Kind of reeling things back in from a real young age. Don't know if you all, let's say, I've gone to the store back in the day when they used to have the Husky section. And, you know, I was one of those kids that was in elementary school having to shop in the middle school Husky section because I was always a big kid just growing up. Kind of started off as skinny. I was kind of a sick baby, kind of got out of that. And then once I got into elementary school, that's where I really put on some weight because, just being honest, food was always around. Once I finally got into daycare, that's really when the pounds started coming on, because this is before they started regulating food. It was all you can eat. I will never forget they had this whole thing of chicken nuggets that they were trying to get rid of. And we're talking about, I can't even tell you how many ounces, but it's the biggest bowl you can think of. And we just all just sat there and just ate them. We ate our full lunch. We just kept on eating them. And that's kind of where things kind of started with overeating, was daycare and just having just unlimited access to food. Of course, I rolled into home because not only am I eating constantly at, childcare facilities, now I'm at home, I'm just constantly eating. Feel extremely bad because even with my mom, I just ate her out of a household. Once, and like I said, this is all in elementary. Once when she started to kind of get a handle on things, that's where the aggressive eating really came in. So let's say she would go grocery shopping and I already knew the snacks that she was going to get. Within a day, those snacks would be gone. And let's say I would hide the wrappers either underneath the couch or just hide them somewhere. Even sometimes tell a story. Like, I don't know what happened to everything. Or even if it was mom's chocolate, I don't know what happened to it. It just disappeared. So then that kind of rolls into the middle school. And then that's where I was finally able to play sports. And so as I was burning off some of that energy, I was always walking to church, walking to football practice, walking to other sports. But I wasn't losing any weight. Not that as a middle school you need to even lose weight, but nothing was happening. And I was like, not even thinking about it, just growing, not thinking anything about it. High school, kind of the same thing, except for, I guess when you're in high school, you kind of become your own person, if that makes sense. And you start realizing there's a separation between, quote unquote, the skinny, thin athletic people and the biggins athletic people. And even from coaches, teachers, and other student peers, they treat you differently. So I kind of decided I was going to do something a little bit different in high school. After a whole bunch of personal stuff was going on, I decided, let's kind of focus in on our health. And that's where I guess I developed the overdid it kind of thing. So I kind of said, you know what, we're going to actually try. We're going to look at how much food we're eating. We're going to over try and practice. We're just going to put our all into kind of shaping our body. And it worked until it didn't. I think in high school, my lowest weight was 215. And I was so proud. I was like, oh, look at me. I can fit certain things. I can go to certain stores now. I don't have to just be limited to certain stores. Yep, my bubble quickly got bursted when, for example, I was going to go into the military. I was talking about it because I'm like, oh, I'm fit now. And then they looked at me and they said, we don't want you. Because if y'all don't know, I'm 5'7". So if you kind of do the BMI chart, you're obese. So I just kind of said, okay, well, that's not my calling. I'll move on. Of course, throughout the high school, gained weight. And this is where things should have been concerning, but I didn't think about it until I reflected on it later on. Although I was still putting my all into everything and, still quote unquote sweating, putting that sweat equity and still doing certain things. And I'm going to say I wasn't watching what I was eating, but I was still trying to quote unquote burn it off. I was gaining weight and it was kind of concerning. And I remember one time I ended up going to a coach and I said, hey, something's odd, because I think I took a little break from sports and then came back. And so you would think that, okay, I took a break. I'm coming back and I've been consistently doing what I'm doing for a month. How am I gaining weight? And so I never forget, I went to a coach. I'm like, is this normal? He was like, oh, you're probably just building muscle. You're probably, just keep going. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm not crazy, but you're an adult. You know what you're talking about. Yes, I wish I would have kind of explored that a little bit more, because that all rolled into my adulthood. And so, of course, you get out of high school, you're in college, you don't have sports. You don't have these things. You have intramurals, but you don't have these things. And so, more and more weight was getting put on. You're around food all the time. There's these things called meal plans in college, snacks. You are just, eating. And then, of course, I'm taking some responsibility on myself as to, I know there were times to where I was overeating, but when I went to take that back and kind of say, okay, we need to start watching what we're doing. We need to start getting active. The same results were happening, still gaining weight. And I was telling myself, like, this is very odd. Don't know what's going on, but maybe this is just a part of the journey. Let's just say fast forward out of college, end up getting another job in a warehouse-like setting. And so I knew what my weight was. And I was like, oh, I'm going to lose a lot of weight because I'm moving pallets. I'm throwing these things, I'm on my feet all day long. And that was, I think I probably lost maybe 2 pounds to gain. And this is the duration of the employment before things happen. Probably lost 2 pounds before I gained, let's say, 50 pounds. And I will say I was working in an environment that had a lot of food around it, if you all can catch my drift. So there was food all over the place. So although we were moving, there was as much food on the table as what we were moving. I'll just say it that way. But still, you're in your head, you're thinking like, well, I'm still moving around. I'm sweating. I'm doing a lot, but nothing is happening. Even when I do decide to cut down my portions and kind of say, hey, we're going to eat more healthy, nothing's happening. What's going on? Let's see here. I guess this is kind of bringing us all the way up until about 2 years ago, when I was taking my mother to a particular pain doctor. And this is kind of the doctor that does every kind of bit of thing, and kind of dabbles in everything. And, although we're there sitting, talking to my mom about, her needs and what she needs, the doctor just looks at me and is like, hey, we have these weight loss programs. And I'm just like, oh, I'm good. I don't need that at all. We're here for her. I'm just living my life. I'm just trying to get through things because I take care of her full time. Well, I decided one day, let me go and explore it. Now, a part of the story that I missed was the certain, how should I say, doctor's appointments throughout the years. And this one, if you are a man listening to this, please, please, please heed my warning on what I'm about to tell you. So what I forgot to mention was throughout the years, I would go to the doctor. Of course, they would do blood work. They would do a lot of other things. Also, men, always get your blood work done. And I always had the pre-diabetes letter that would come in the mail, and I knew it was coming. And just being honest with you all, I would take that letter, throw it behind a wall, throw it whatever, because I'm like, and that doesn't, I don't want to say it doesn't exist, but I just didn't accept that. Because of course, when you're going to these doctors, and just being quite frank, I was morbidly obese. I forgot what the chart was, but I think on the chart scale, I think I would have been at a level 3 morbid obese. I think it goes to 4. So of course, every time you go, they want to say, oh, are you sure you don't have high blood pressure? Are you sure you don't have diabetes? Are you sure you don't have a heart problem? So, once again, I'm just like saying they're just trying to push something on me just because I'm big, not knowing that I should have heeded those warnings. So, of course, looking back at those letters and what they were saying, I was getting closer and closer going into type 2. And, like I said, I wasn't paying attention. I was just saying that that's not for me, until it got to the point where I did go back to that weight loss doctor later on. And I was like, okay, let's see what we can do. Let's see what can happen. So he tested me. He was like, so I know it's saying that you're pre-diabetic, but where your numbers are, you're just 1 point off from type 2. And I said, oh, okay. Well, I don't care what that means, but okay. I didn't know that the type 2 is what gets you access. So he was like, hey, you need to go to your doctor, but until then, we're going to go ahead and still start this treatment. And so we started on the compounded version of tirzepatide, just because insurance wouldn't cover it. So kind of started on that until I went to my actual doctor to kind of look at some other things. And of course, my doctor has some things to say. I will say it this way. This is the part in my journey where I say it's not always good to fire a doctor, but in this situation, it was warranted. My primary care just was not helping me how I needed him to, because in my head, this is where I turn the corner as to I want to better my health. I need to get healthy because now I'm understanding, and now I've been educated about how my body should be working, how things should be. Now that I'm educated, I need to start building a medical team. That's something that we don't talk about, is building a team. So all your doctors are working together. So he wasn't really helping me a lot. And he's always been that doctor as to, oh, just keep moving, keep moving more, or watch what you eat. At first, he wasn't a big proponent of GLP-1s. And then later on, he kind of changed, but he still wasn't fighting for me. Then I got with another doctor. Wonderful man. He kind of looked at all my symptoms, and he was like, well, looking at your history and looking at some of your symptoms, this is type 2. Type 2 doesn't have to be your A1C. Your symptoms are saying you are type 2, and this is what we were diagnosing you with. So I was like, hey, I'll take that. Didn't know that would also have given me access to other tools, I should say. So just kind of from what that doctor took, all those tools, took everything that I've been working with. So whether it's the telehealth or other doctors, taking everything and just kind of saying, okay, how do we come together to better my health and come together for me? So even if I have to share labs with another doctor, say, hey, I got this from the doctor, analyze this. What do you think? Building up my care team so that way at the end of the day, we can all work together to better my health. So that's just the kind of the doctor version of everything. Kind of skipping over when it comes to some of the things I do online. From day one, and this is the first time everyone's ever hearing this one. From day one, I've been documenting my GLP-1 journey. I just didn't put anything out just because I didn't know how the world will perceive it. Unfortunately, we all have to admit that celebrities, they unfortunately made Ozempic the new plastic surgery, or the new fad. And so I didn't know how the world was going to perceive what I was doing. So I was like, I'll just kind of hang on to this because there's going to be a story later on. I knew there was going to be a story, but I'm just going to hang on to this and just wait until I released my first video about kind of what I was doing. And I was shocked in, I guess, 2 different ways. I was shocked that at first I wasn't met with negativity. Like I said, at first. But then also shocked because, of course, because I started my journey on TikTok, and the amount of people who would put a comment in my comments versus the people who would DM me. Shock me. So I will say it this way. More women made comments about whether what they were doing or saying, oh, congratulations, keep going, keep going. More women made those comments versus men. Men were more in the DM saying, hey, this is what's going on with me. So they were disclosing some of their medical stuff. And it kind of blew my mind because it's like, well, hold on, I just found this community here. Your story can help somebody else. Of course, I'm not going to disclose, but I understand you want to keep things private, but it's, I wouldn't say funny. That's not the words I want to use. It's quite ironic how multiple men could have the same issue. And instead of them all coming together and saying, how do we whether fight this, how do we get information, we're divided. And especially I found that in the African-American male community. And so I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? And I just said, how do we come together? And so that's just kind of how I said, hey, let's start advocating for men's health, especially in the men of color community, because we are, for lack of terms, I know I can't say it on TikTok, so I think I can say it on here. We are killing ourselves just by staying divided when we need to come together and help each other out. And so that's kind of what I've been working on, is some of that space where it's bringing men of color together and kind of saying, hey, this is what's going on. How can we all come together so that way we can better our health? Or how do we get resources? Or how do we break that stigma? Or how can we support you in some of your health journey? And it doesn't have to be a GLP-1. It could be certain things like I've heard kidney failure, liver failure, liver disease, a lot of other things. How can we all just come together and say we're going to better each other? Because unfortunately, I guess, man, since we're supposed to be the providers, supposed to be the big, strong ones, nothing's supposed to hurt us. And so that's why, for example, you get test results and you're like, oh, I'm good. I'm just going to leave that alone. That's exactly why there's been some men that's gotten diagnosed with cancer and said, oh, I don't believe in that. I'll just drink beetroot. I don't know, do something and it'll go away, versus getting help, versus fighting, versus being there longer for their loved ones. And so that's just something that's kind of just fired me up as to saying we have to get loud. Quote, I'm still in that from you all, get loud and talk about things so that way we can better ourselves. Even when it comes to lately, I've been talking not on social media, but in our chats about, hormone replacement, coming to how do we feel? I know sometimes we lose weight and our hormones are kind of out of whack, or they were kind of out of whack beforehand. How do we come together and go to these doctors and say, hey, I know you don't want to prescribe testosterone, but let me tell you why I think I need it. And here are my numbers and here's how I feel. So advocating for ourselves, but how we feel. So that way, let's say you are struggling. Let's say you are at a plateau with your weight. Sometimes I could break it. Unfortunately, with me, it doesn't break it. I gain weight on that. But other than that, we're still advocating for our better health so we can get our numbers right, making sure, we are getting those screenings, making sure that if a doctor's not listening to us. That's one thing I will say. The only reason why I have the doctor that I have now is because this wonderful pastor friend of mine was like, hey, I have this doctor. Go see him. I said, and I did. And that was the best thing in the world. So sharing information so we can get better access to resources. So whether that's getting access to GLP-1s or getting access to other medicines, or if our insurance company, because we know insurance is a bad word, if they start messing with us, we know that we are armed with information about what our brothers and sisters have been doing in our community so we can advocate for ourselves and get access, because of course insurance companies don't want to pay. But I just gave you all a lot, but that's just a little bit about me and about my journey. I know I missed something, but that's just what I've been trying to do, is just get people access. Oh, excuse me. I can't talk. No. Give people access to resources and information. It doesn't matter what community you belong to. We're here for your health. It doesn't matter if you're a man or woman. We are all here trying to better ourselves and not stay in the dark because they want us to be divided. So that way, of course, insurance companies don't have to pay, but also they just want us to be divided. So that way the resources aren't there. But we got to come together, everyone.
Yeah. Absolutely. I love that. And I've seen you doing that. I've seen you doing that with several people in the community with, Sean, and I've seen lots of people, Jay, Mike, and I think it's so good. Like, I would love to ask you a couple questions if you're okay with it.
Oh, yes, please go ahead.
Okay. So in terms of the journey, like how long have you been on it, and where are you, if you want to share with us, like how much that you've lost in terms of pounds released, if you want to share that. Yes. And then if there's any other things that you experience, like did you experience no food noise and things like that? Quick pause here. I've had moments on my GLP-1 journey where insurance changes or rising costs force me to look for a new provider. And honestly, that process can feel very overwhelming. But that's why the Plus SideZ Podcast is partnered with GLP Winner to give our subscribers a resource to help them make that decision easier. GLP Winner is a comparison platform that lets you explore telehealth providers in all 50 states, whether you're looking for brand name medications or compounded options. You can see pricing up front, read reviews, and get a clear picture of which provider might align best with your needs. Check it out today at glpwinner.com/plus-sides. That's glpwinner.com/plus-sides. Don't forget the Z. Let me tell you a quick story. I was telling Kat how I was regaining weight after my 100-pound loss using GLP-1 medications, and I was having snacky cravings and waking up at 3 a.m., and I had hot flashes, and I was worried. But Kat was like, listen, I went through this last year. It's perimenopause, and I started HRT, and she used this company called Winona. So I started going there to see if this was something that was going with me. Turns out it was, because I'm 46. And it's been amazing. It's taken a while to find the right dose, but once I did, it's just been huge. I've been sleeping. I feel more myself again. And the hot flashes are gone, which is, geez, really bad. So I will tell you, it's just been so big for me. And so I wanted to partner with them on the podcast because obviously many of our listeners are going through this same age range and definitely are having these issues. And there's just no need for you to suffer. So if you go to the link that's in our link tree, you can click on that and save money. If you go there and you meet all the criteria, and this might be something for you to try. So I just want to make sure you had this great resource because it's just been such a big difference for me and Kat. Again, you can go to the link in our link tree and get what you need.
"20 seconds a week to lose 20% of your weight in a year with diet and exercise. That's the power of GLP-1s through Ro. Ro helps find the medication that's right for you, based on cost, availability, and your weight loss goals. Losing weight with GLP-1s is possible through Ro.
Okay, so I have been on this journey for a year, and I'm going to hopefully not tell a story on this one. A year and 8 months is what I believe I calculated last time. I have released 150 pounds. Now,
Gosh,
yes,
that's amazing.
I know it was a lot, but geez Louise.
it was
Thin.
128.
And you're wearing green, Thin Mint.
Thin Mint, that's
Okay.
right.
I have a friend. Okay, people have called me a lot of different things. I have a friend that recently said Thin Mint. I accept that one. I don't know why. It perfectly describes me. So thank you for saying that.
Thin Mint, I love it.
But that's another thing. So this is going to make a few people mad. According to the BMI, I'm still overweight. So
Crazy, right?
currently,
This
what
is
my
so
weight is
wild.
currently at is 175. Apparently, I'm supposed to be at 149. And I was like, oof, we don't know if
Absolutely
that's going to.
49.
Yes.
Absolutely not.
Yes.
I've been 149 since I was like elementary
You're going to be
school.
like this in front of the microphone. You're going to be like this little
Yes.
stick. Hi, here's my story. Anyway.
So I'll say it this way. I'm not saying that I want to be there. Well, I say that I'm trying to still slim because I know where the I'll say the fat cells. I know where they are.
Mhm.
And when I'm trying to get rid of those,
Adipose
yes.
tissue.
Yes, adipose tissue. Yes. I know where it is.
Yeah.
And so that's another thing is, and I need to get ready to sit down with the doctor as well because, and I think everyone talks about, loose skin. It's good to sit down with the doctor and kind of say, okay, so what is loose skin and what is not? Because honestly, when I bend over, the gravity hits. So, doctor, let's talk about what's loose skin and what's not.
Right? Yeah, I think it is good. I think too, like, kind of to your point about like where you are now. I mean, 150 pounds is a ton of weight. Like it's a ton of weight in a short amount of time, a long amount of time. Like it's so much weight. And I know your health is like so much better than it was, but yet there's this number that we're always going towards, and it's based on that BMI. And honestly, the BMI is straight trash. Like it really is. Like
Really?
it takes nothing else into account. From our understanding, it was like made by a mathematician, and it wasn't even meant to be used on humans. But that's what we use. That's our gauge, So I'm hoping and we'll have our doctor talk about that later, that there'll be different ways to be able to measure, obesity. And it's not just this number, because if you think about it, when you were going into the military, if it was measured a different way, you may have been able to do that. Like, it limits people, I think, in so many areas. And it also, I think, limits us in the type of care that we're going to be able to receive as well. You know what I mean? So it's like, I hate that that's the only number. I mean, Kat and I talk about it a lot in our content on the show. I've lost 110 and she's 70 or 80.
70.
And we're still in big bodies, and we do all the things, you know what I mean? And it's like, it just kind of, I tell myself all the time, Kim, if you diet culture the shit out of this, which is what I would do, right? I would go out and get my cute workout outfits, and I would exercise for an hour.
A cute workout outfit really makes a difference. I'm starting doing an outfit of the day, down to my sneakers that I don't even wear because I take cycling classes.
And it would all be purple, and it would all be like 80s, and it would just
not leg warmers.
Yes, right. I'd be like, yeah, I've already got it. You wouldn't be able to leave all these contraptions in my office that I don't use. But if I did, like, I've been TikTok out for that shit. Sorry, Dad, I'm trying to cuss last night. He asked me to. He said I could do it when he died, but I had to seriously, I'm trying.
My little student.
Yeah, but I could, like, and if I did, I'm like, all right, I'd lose, I know me, 30 pounds. Okay. And from what the doctor has told me, the chances that I would regain that are still very high, because this is my set weight that I'm at right now. This is where my body has decided for over a year now that I'm not going anywhere. And I go up 5, down 5, up 5, down 5. And that's what it is. But I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, but if I did, I will tell you, even if I did all those things and I lost that other 30 pounds, I would not just be overweight. I would still be obese.
Yeah.
And my numbers already look good. So then it's like, you have to kind of weigh, right? Like, pun intended, you kind of have to weigh it out, right? Like, how much do I want to live a life where everything is in moderation and I just move my body and I try to live a nutritious, healthiest life as much as possible, versus do I want to make losing weight my world and like my whole thing, which is for my entire life what it's been like.
But then you hit a huge topic right there. I just want to stop you there.
No, at this point. Keep going.
And just to be honest with you, this is where I went into, and this is what I'm honestly currently fighting now, is if you just spend your entire life thinking about that, now you've gotten into eating disorder, so that disordered eating. And so just being honest, this is another part of my journey that I'm trying to share on TikTok is, I was not eating, and I definitely didn't know I wasn't drinking enough, but I was not eating enough because it's like, oh, I'm going to eat this. I'm going to get fat. I'm going to eat, quote unquote, eat through the Mounjaro, eat through the tirzepatide. I'm like, okay, like we need to, not eat so much. So I would feel bad when I would get hungry. No, your body needs that. I am burning 1,000 calories in the gym each morning. My body needs it. I wasn't refueling. So now, I'm trying to protect my kidneys and trying to protect my body because I didn't take care of it while I was on these medicines. So once again, our brain can tell us, oh, you're eating too much, or you need to focus on this, focus on that. Don't miss out on a workout, but you just need to live, let your body heal, and also fuel your body, because your body needs these fuels. And we need to kind of break in our mind as to what we used to go through and just kind of say, you know what, not only just letting the quote unquote medicines work, because I know we can't just do that, but just saying, let it work, but I'm going to do my part. It's going to do its part.
Yeah.
What's in our head, we're going to break that because it's going to end. It's going to harm us.
Yes.
Sorry, just want to chime in and say that.
No, I love it. And I mean, and like Kat's talked about it before too. I mean, like, we have certain things that we're not going to give up, and Kat's not giving up her wine.
Not,
like, and there's just things like that, right?
I had my wine yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, but she exercises every single day. I don't exercise every single day, but she does. And she's always hoofing it and doing something. And she gets more hungry, right? Like, she's hungrier than normal. And she's like, she hits the wall just like we all do.
Yep,
right. But she's always moving and doing something. So she gets hungrier,
Earlier today, Kim and I were talking, and I was on the phone with my big weights.
Yeah.
Doing my shoulder presses.
Well, you always say, I mean, like, what were you saying the other day to me? You were like, fit doesn't have a size.
No,
right?
Fit has no size.
Yeah. And I think that's great,
because I do think that a lot of people, I don't know if you know, but I made this post a while ago and it was like a Mounjaro update. And I didn't know like how it was going to go because you never go with TikTok. And when I did, I was talking about how, hey, like I'm still in a big body and I'm okay with it, and I'm working through what all that means. And if I do a next step and what the next step is, if I've capped out on this medicine and then I try retatrutide or I add, I don't know, NAD or I don't know, like hormone replacements. I mean, I'm going through perimenopause too. So like, there's a lot of things moving around, like, and I was just sort of talking about that. And then one of the doctors said, hey, on average, in this study for zepbound, people lost on average 55 pounds over 3 years.
Like you lost 150. That's pretty darn impressive.
That's 3 times. Almost ish, math, because math, like, you know what I mean? And so like, that's massive. But here's the thing. It isn't the norm. And it wasn't until I posted that and saw how many people were in the same boat that lost 50 to 100 pounds and they were still in big bodies or they still had obese BMIs. And so like, and they do things, but I think that people think that there's this place that they should be at. Right. And that's not necessarily true for everyone. It's just not. Everybody's body's different. Right. Like that's why that prescription of like eat less, move more didn't work for you because everybody's body is different. That works great for a body that is metabolically sound, but for sure not when it's not. I mean, we've seen it, right? We eat less. Sometimes we eat less and we gain weight because our body's like, we keeping this like, cause it knows, right? It is very efficient at storing energy.
Oh. Uh-oh. Is there, did Kim freeze for you?
Yep, she froze for me.
Okay. Well, you know what? I got a question for you. All right.
Go ahead.
So you mentioned
do y'all
men.
Did y'all lose me? I'm here.
I did.
I lost you too.
We were going to segue into the platform for like men being
do it.
Men being I guess how do I word it? Men are a lot more private and stoic about their health, right?
Is Jay like that?
My husband?
John's like that. Yeah.
Not so much anymore. My husband recently had a pituitary tumor a couple of years ago removed. So he's not like, yeah.
Now he talks about himself.
Take care of himself.
Did he before though? Before the scare?
Being stoic. He would, hey, I could stay. He used to be physically able to stay up very late and work and have a couple side hustles. He can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, like categorically, maybe not categorically. What do we think about? Like men typically are more stoic, maybe like more private, close to the vest.
Yeah. Why do you think it is? I'm curious. I would love to know, Jhon Henri, why do you think?
That's a really bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I will. Go on, I gotta get together.
It was a good question,
Kim.
I will go back and look at the recording.
What am I? Because I'm noodling. It was my noodling face.
No, you. Anyway, this is when it goes south. But I do want I want to see like. But I was curious. An opportunity for you. Are you going to kind of put yourself into this space to be that person to say, "Get it together, fellas"?
I feel like he kind of has actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You what?
I feel like
I am trying my hardest. I will say it this way. Going back because I had to analyze this quite a bit of times. I'll say it that way. You are taught from day one. Of course, we kind of got away from Men Don't Cry, but that's kind of how I grew up on the Men Don't Cry. Or let's say it's sports. It's like you don't talk about certain things. You if something's going on, you joke around about it. But I'm just being honest with you. I had a football coach that was going through some really bad medical stuff. He kept it private, but how he let it out was a little, through anger and other things of how he would act. But it's just you're just designed to just not talk about certain things, or if you do, you let it out in a certain way. If you just kind of know, he's mad behind next one, and that sounds terrible, but he's going through something. He's like, and so that's what we're trying to do is break that and kind of say, how do we rebuild? But it's hard because once you've grown up on that cycle and you had even, men before you, other generations before you, they grew up on that and it was even worse back then, but it's, we're lightening up. It's really hard to break that.
Yeah.
So at least we're just providing a space for us, just kind of say, hey, we can talk about it amongst ourselves, but eventually we got to just completely just break out and say, here's what's going on. So I think we're seeing more of that right now because, like I said, hopefully it doesn't go away permanently, but we're seeing more of that through TikTok, which I am absolutely loving because there's a community for every type of thing you could think of on TikTok.
Yeah, that's true.
But we're just not there yet. I can't wait for us to be there yet, but we're just not there yet.
I think it'll take a long time. It does, like, perception is that it's very, like you said, I mean, it's generational, right? It's cultural. I think that it, like, I mean, my husband is, he says, I'm from the hills. He's from the hills. He's like, men don't cry. We work our butts off. We come home, we sit, and he's like, and that's what we do. And we do what has to get done, and there's no time for, like, do I feel a certain way or, and that's how he was raised. Now we raise our son very different because I ain't having that. But also because I do think that it's important. And I think I see a lot of people suffer in silence, especially with this disease. And I think men suffer in silence with this disease as well. And I do think that a lot of times people associate those who are in large bodies with being weak. Right. And I think that men, this is just my opinion, like perception, right? I think that men oftentimes, the last thing you want to be perceived as weak as anybody, but it definitely, I think, is men, like what I see in our society. Right. And I think that it's so good that you're doing this. And I love that we have more men that are coming out and talking about it. And I think it's so important. And I think that, as we've seen, you've mentioned it before, from the Black community, really wanting to talk more about that and having that be out there, because I think we know there's a disparity, right? There is in terms of care and access to care and quality of care and all of those things. It's math, and so I think that it's important that you're helping educate others so they're able to go and advocate for health, and then being able to hear from you is really great. So I hope, just, soapbox off, but I hope that if TikTok goes away or whatever the heck they do with it, I don't know, like we do it on another platform, we do it on Neptune, we do it on Fanbase, we do it wherever, Instagram, whatever, because I think that it doesn't as matter much as where we do it as that we keep doing it, Yes. Like, did you see that video Mike made today? So he made, oh my gosh, right? So for those listening, so there was a video that Mike on a Mission in our community made about a study that had come out that basically said like half of America is on board with people taking GLP-1s for obesity now.
That's a good number. It's a great number.
That's huge. It's been 2.5 years since we started doing this on this platform. And that's where we're at.
Definitely making it. It's a change. It's definitely.
When we started, the narrative in the media villainized us. I mean, it was horrible and wrong. And we have come so far. And I think it's because it's the traction that we get on TikTok. It's like nowhere else, right? Like, it's just constant turnover and movement of everybody's content. And then it's all stitching each other's content and it's all duetting each other's content. So we're just really loud. And the more they try to shut us up, we just keep coming back. Right. Like, we just keep coming back with like more people and saying more things. And right. We do, like, it is like, we are fighters. And I think that that's huge. Like, where are we going to be in 2.5 more years? Like, if we were able to keep this up. Right. So I think more voices is great. More podcasts are great. More events, more meetups, more everything where we're talking about this, more of our people in the media. Like, it's important. And I just think, like, if there's anything I would want us to say is that there's a new administration, and I don't think they super know much as I feel like the other ones may have learned, right? And I think that it's important that we continue to talk about it as the disease that it is, right? And both of them are diseases, right? And these are and everybody deserves to have their disease treated. Nobody would argue with us if I went and said I had cancer and I want to take a diabetic medication for my cancer because it's been proved to help with my cancer. I'd be like, well, word. Right? Sure. Go ahead. But because it's obesity, there's that stigma with it. So I think the only way to.
So
Well, I do have
the only
something
way to get over that stigma and get over that is to definitely that we got to make more noise.
Yes.
I am just thinking we can edit this out, of course, if we want to, but I wonder if it would be a good opportunity to like have like a men's roundtable of sorts, or
please do
a discussion of all the men on GLP-1s here.
Yes.
And I'll shut up. I promise. Again, I'll be right.
You got to ask because, like,
you know what I mean. Like, well, you know what I mean. Like, I'll yield. I'm here to listen. Like it's interesting.
Well, I think we could just do our mute trick, Well, like, I'm serious. Yeah. We should do that.
I think it's an opportunity for us to have the men.
Well, especially if they're on YouTube or any other platforms, because we could do it. If we did like on a live on YouTube too, then everybody could I could put all the links and everything, and everybody could link and connect with them. You know what I mean? That would be really good. And I would love that. And then if anybody does anything separate, like we could have a whole. I love it. We should do it.
I think it's a different yet the same sort of experience, right? Within medicine, access, same but different but same. Like we, women and men, we approach things differently. We have a different way of doing things, but at the end of the day, we still have our health that we got to take care of.
We do. I think,
but keep asking those questions because that's the thing, and you hit it. Like men and women, we interact, we think differently, but at the end of the day, there's always a woman that has a man in their life, whether that's a brother or friend, or there's always a man that has a woman in their life, whether like I said, friend, sister. It's good to understand what's going on because you could have a loved one that, they're going through something, you don't know how to help them, but it could be like, for example, this podcast, or it could be a TikTok where it's like, okay, I heard something. I'm going to send this to them. This is going to help them because it's good to ask those questions from your point of view. That's why I like it when, women ask certain questions from their point of view because, sometimes as men, we don't think about certain things. So it's like, thank you. You're helping out everyone understand what is going on so we can understand each other.
Yeah, I think that's so important. I think it's important in everything, and we should do it all the time. Like that should not stop. Programs stop; they shouldn't happen. It's important for us to always do that because that's how we can understand different perspectives and communicate better and move towards a better society. Because I don't think anybody can look at the society that we have now or have ever had where we're like, oh, looking good. You know what I mean? No. So the only way to continue to move forward is to have conversations like this and hear people's voices and try to have grace and learn from each other, So I think it's really important that we keep doing this. And I hope that there are more men listening. And I hope that if anybody's listening now, because our YouTube is a good size, but the majority of our podcast is audio. It's big on Apple and Spotify, and I hope that if you're listening, and you have a loved one, right. And that's a male, send them this, right. Send them this and have them understand how important their voice is and how all it takes is one doctor's visit to miss where the diabetes is there. Mm-hmm. We have so many people that have experienced that. And so many people where the doctor just checks fasting glucose and that's it. And is like, oh, you're not diabetic, but they didn't check the A1C and all those different things that happens all the time.
And it's a matter of knowing what to get tested for, right? Yeah. Just to know, right?
Yes.
Know what to get tested for, right? Know what questions to ask, know what kind of doctor to go to.
Because they can't read your mind, but I feel like doing this work has made me a lot more aware.
Mm-hmm,
but you can arm with that information. And I'll lead it with this story here. So I'm not saying I'm an evangelist, I'm not saying that, but with our truck drivers at work, I try, but with our truck drivers at work, literally, they ask me certainly, they're like, wait a minute, you went from looking at the Pillsbury Doughman to looking like this. What's going on? Thin Mint, what's going on? And it's like, I just talked to them about it. And I will never, because I will literally talk to every single one. I don't care. But we'll talk about health. We'll talk about everything. They probably don't want to talk about it out loud to other people, but we'll have a conversation whether at your truck or at the loading dock. We will talk. And I will never forget. This one individual told me that, they finally did go to the doctor and they said that their A1C was at a 12.
Oh my!
If y'all don't know,
at 12. At a 12. 12 was the A1C cat.
Oh my gosh! How is he?
0.5 is where.
How is he standing up?
Oh, I've heard higher. It's bad. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it maxes out at 14, and they can't put it on the scale.
Gosh, that's frightening.
Yes. So, we kind of, I was like, hey, go look at this, go look at that. What's come together is we can have a good game plan. They got it back down to a reasonable number, but if you don't have this conversation,
yeah.
Yes.
About that. That's the thing is like, we're like, oh, diabetes is bad. But like, we forget, like, I mean, people lose limbs because of diabetes. Like it's a very vicious disease.
That's affecting my dad.
Dr. Albert on our show one time, he said, like, sometimes our doctors just say these like beautiful gems. And he said, people would take insulin resistance, right, and obesity more seriously, right, and treat it more aggressively if we would call type 2 diabetes what it actually is, which is organ failure.
Yeah.
Like that's just where we're at, right? And so when you're on your path to organ failure, if somebody could give you something to keep that from happening, then we should do that. Like that's just we should do that, when we know that it's safe, and there's so many people and they don't know. Like I'm telling you, I avoided the doctor for years because every time I would go, it was always like, let's talk about your weight, and not in a good way. It was always like, you've really got to lose weight. You're going to be a diabetic. You've really got to lose weight. Like it was always awful. Are you dieting? Are you exercising? All these things. And eventually it was like, you know what? I've been dieting since I was 8, like I don't even want to go anymore. I want to hear it anymore. And then more people, they get scared. That's the thing too, is like when we hear all the stuff in the media or people that are anti-Ozempic or whatever, right? All of that stuff just makes people who already weren't going to their doctor not go longer. Right.
Yeah.
So at least if they're hearing our voices and we're somehow cutting above that fold, then at least they'll be like, maybe I should go. I can't tell you how many people, like every time I have an episode, somebody will send me a message and say, because of that story, because of that person, I thought that sounds like me. Yeah. I'm going to go to my doctor. And that person might live years and years longer and a richer, fuller life just because someone stepped up and shared their voice. And that's such a big deal. And I don't care in our community if we get along. I don't care any of that. Every single person that stands up and every time they do it, it's special and it's brave, And we need more and more men to do that. More and more.
Yes.
We want a men's round table. That's what I'm into the universe.
I love that. Okay. I would do that space.
I'll post together some people. So all right, let me know when.
Okay. We'll set it up for March.
How do we get our men, the men in our lives, the men we love to
and just pick like some topics of discussion. Like, I think that would be super good. I love that. All the people watching on YouTube, tell us in the comments what you think and what we should talk about.
Exactly.
And tag anybody you think should be in it. If they have a YouTube now, that would be cool. I love that.
Can't wait to hear those questions.
The only other thing I didn't ask you is like the one thing we didn't really talk about is food noise. And if you had ever experienced that and if the medicine affected that for you.
Food noise. When I say it is a light switch, that's not for everyone. Same thing with side effects. It's not like that for everyone. For me, oh my gosh, it was like, this is what life is like. I mean, I know, Kat, you said you're not giving up your wine. I do not drink. I cannot smoke any kind of tobacco products. So, my old fraternity, we used to smoke, so I can't do any of that.
You have cigars for the fraternity. Oh no.
Yes. Like I quote unquote, as they say, I'm living my life for the Lord. All that stuff went away and I just focused on fitness and myself. Like a lot of things it just turned off, and it's all of a sudden it's like, okay, now I have more time to just kind of focus on certain things. That's why when it comes to fitness, it's like, oh, okay, now I know what was getting in the way of me kind of, I wouldn't say going farther, but for me, really focusing in on certain things is because you get discouraged. Like, okay, well, I just ate all this food and now I got to go work it off. It's just that back and forth. It's just, you have a chance to just focus on you. It's off. I don't know how to explain it other than saying the light switch is off and you have more time. I know these medicines are giving you more time, but even in your mind, I know, like I said, Mounjaro, zepbound, tirzepatide, it's working in the brain. It just switches off everything and just allows you to just live, quote unquote, what they say, a normal life. So I'm sorry, I'll stop evangelizing over, but that's just,
it's true though.
It just feels good.
Yes, I know. Although it's like, it is sort of like weird, like how much it changes you and what you're interested in doing. And like, but it's like, like when, what's that Kennedy guy? Which is that Kennedy guy? And he was like, nobody wants to do anything anymore. I'm like, no.
Robert. Yeah. RFK.
No. I want to be like, listen, just take a hit of this Ozempic, man. You'll get it.
Yes.
just 0.25, man. I swear we're going to have a different conversation. You're going to be on my level.
You're like a drug person. Your first hit is free. Right.
But that's sort of what it was like with
then
the
you got to pay
card.
for it. Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yes. They were totally hooking us. Like they were like, here, we're going to solve your life for you. And
you beat me to it.
No, I felt like you remember this. There are really inappropriate jokes I made a couple years ago when I was like, we were like Pookie on Mounjaro. And it's like this whole community, it was like New Jack City. It was crazy. It was
awful.
For you younger kids, just go look it up.
Kids. I know the OGs. We always talk like that.
It's a really old movie from the 90s.
And I'm mad I didn't get on that OG savings card. So mad. Even when the wegovy one was out, I didn't get on it. I was so mad.
I didn't start. I am too, because I was on Ozempic because my insurance covered Ozempic. So I was just taking Ozempic. And Mounjaro wasn't on my formulary. But I bet if I had gotten that card, I bet I could have gotten it and taken it because it didn't matter if it was on their formulary or not. You know what I mean? But because they're covering Ozempic, I was taking Ozempic. But at the same time, though, I lost most of my weight on Ozempic. You know, I lost like 70 out of 110 on Ozempic.
Man,
you know what I mean? So it was great, you know, but the inflammation control for me on Mounjaro is just so much better, you know, and it did take me kind of the rest away, which is why I keep thinking, maybe if I try retatrutide, that would take me the rest of the way, whatever the rest of the way equals for my body. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I guess it's really kind of weird to be on the cutting edge of all of this, isn't it? Like we're not guinea pigs because there's a lot of data, but we also kind of are. It's kind of bizarre. And
that's also why people didn't try it at the beginning. Because let's be honest, especially if you're a person of color, they're like, oh, not the Tuskies. We're going to get home. We're going to let them try it first, and then we're going to try.
That's the funniest thing anybody's ever said.
But that's honestly what it was. I mean, they said they're going to try that first. We will wait.
We'll just take our time.
So if I'm being honest with you, yes, because
so much like nope, not good.
You got to say it now.
Nope.
Yeah. You got to say it now.
Nope. It just makes me think of like if you see me running, you better run. Like don't stop and ask questions. Like yeah,
I get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But and that's what we're trying to honestly just let the community know, or people who are thinking about coming into the community, as to hey, we're running. I think you should run too. I mean, if you want to.
Yeah, if you want to,
we're gonna give you the information. But if you want to run with us, come on.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you want to come? We can do this. Yeah, I know. I love it. But I think that's another reason why we do it, right? There's nothing out of everything I've ever done in my life. And I love my career, you know, but being able to see people's lives change in front of me, all because I said something. And I don't know shit, you know, sorry, Dad.
You know enough.
You know, like
you know enough to be dangerous. That's what I always say. We all know enough to be dangerous.
We all know enough to be dangerous. Yeah. But at the same time, like having anybody be like, that was the moment for me. And I'm like, oh my God. I was talking to Dr. Toomer. I was going to say it. She's going to see this. One day we were talking and I was like, yeah, you know, I mean, what do? I just interview people. And she's like, listen, Oprah just interviews people. And I went, did you just say I'm white Oprah? And she's like, no. Because that's what I heard. That's what I heard, Dr. Toomer. But it's not. But that's what she's saying, though, is that the voice and the person asking a question, like, it's just as important as being part of the conversation, right? Because it gets it out there, you know, and we can start evolving and learning from each other. So anyway, I think it's great, clearly. I love the idea of doing a men's roundtable. We should totally set that up. We will do that for March. Round some people up for us. I know Sean.
Gotcha.
Get Sean first.
Yes.
Yes. And then
we gotta have Sean. That'd be that would be great.
Yeah, it'd be great. I know there's gonna be plenty of people, which would be so good. Yeah. And the podcast has such good traction. Like we're just gonna get in front of more people. We get new people constantly new people from our data because we can see, because they come back and watch episode 1, you know, so we can see, you know, when we're getting new people. It's like hundreds a week. It's crazy. And then people kind of fall off for a while because they go live their life and then they come back and, you know, so it's good. And I think I want to talk more on the podcast too. So we're taking kind of some shifts too about like wellness in general, about again, like hormone replacement therapy, sexual health. I think all of these different things that have encompassed what our life looks like now, because it's all fine and dandy. You kind of get to this weight and then you're like, well, what now? Well, you're still getting older, right? You're still getting older and things are still changing. And also maybe you're able to take this to get you a little further, or combined therapies is a thing. Like there's so many things where it's not about weight. It's never really been about weight. It's always been our underlying health, right? And trying to figure that out. But I'm trying to have the podcast evolve. And we're also talking about the issues of PBMs, and we're digging into healthcare problems. And we're trying to bring a voice for our community bigger than just, hey, we lost weight, right? And more of, this should be treated as the disease that it deserves to be treated as, And once it is, we are all worthy, of care, So we'll just keep talking about it. And I'm really glad that you came to talk about it with us today. Thank you.
That's exciting. I loved it.
I was excited you all invited me. And like I said, we're just trying to spread the word as to how can the better, healthier lives. So like I said, I know we're kind of moving away towards just the GLP-1 space, but I will say it launches so much more. So you start with one thing and you go to the other thing. And it's just amazing seeing everyone in their communities grow to be a healthier them. Whatever that looks like, they're going to be a healthier them.
Yes, a healthier them, whatever that them is. Exactly. And whatever it is, I think finding a way to love yourself, that's where that body positivity thing is still important. You know what I mean?
Agreed. So
important. Because you like, that's, I think, and I went on GLP-1.
She went on the GLP-1 what? you got to get this together, Kim. Before you come on, Kim.
The phases are just amazing. See, I think at the end of the season, you all need to have like all the screenshots of all.
That's what we need. At the end of the season, we need all the frozen pictures. The frozen.
I got such an expressive face. I'm sure I'd look ridiculous.
But Kim, the one from a few back when you're like this. You're like,
I think.
It was, your eyes were like. It's good. You were both like, this is the funniest frozen.
I'm pretty sure I was saying something really profound before that one. I don't know what it was.
My bad. Sorry.
I might as well just give up because I've frozen like 5 times. So God's like, shh. So I'm just gonna take the hint.
We got our profound opportunity, and so we're gonna.
We got it. We got a plan for another thing, and it's gonna be good.
All the dudes.
Yes.
Let's call it that. Can we?
Dude Ranch?
Dude Ranch. GLP-1 Dude Ranch. I don't know. We'll think of something cute.
That sounds kind of funny.
Comment for the title. I like that. Okay.
We need Dave.
A lovely conversation.
Right. We need Dave.
We do.
Yes.
Well, yeah, Dave would be good too. Yeah. Well, Dave's been on the show a couple times, but I think
he'd
be good. Yeah. We love Dave. Dave and I are very good friends. Yes. Love Dave. Hey, Plus Siders. We're so glad that you were able to tune in for part 1 of the episode. Part 2 will be posted next week. We look forward to seeing you then. Have a great week. And remember, you're not alone. It's not your fault. Let me tell you a quick story. I was telling Kat how I was regaining weight after my 100-pound loss using GLP-1 medications, and I was having snacky cravings and waking up at 3 a.m. and I had hot flashes, and I was worried. But Kat was like, listen, I went through this last year. It's perimenopause, and I started HRT, and she used this company called Winona. So I started going there to see if this was something that was going with me. Turns out it was, because I'm 46. And it's been amazing. It's taken a while to find the right dose, but once I did, it's just been huge. I've been sleeping. I feel more myself again. And the hot flashes are gone, which is really bad. So I will tell you, it's just been so big for me. And so I wanted to partner with them on the podcast because obviously many of our listeners are going through this same age range and definitely are having these issues. And there's just no need for you to suffer. So if you go to the link that's in our link tree, you can click on that and save money. If you go there and you meet all the criteria, and this might be something for you to try. So I just want to make sure you have this great resource because it's just been such a big difference for me and Kat. Again, you can go to the link in our link tree and get what you need. Today's episode is brought to you by Ro, a telehealth platform that's changing the game of GLP-1 access. What sets Ro apart? Ro understands the challenges of navigating insurance hurdles and the skyrocketing prices of GLP-1 medications. That's why they specialize in getting insurance approvals for GLP-1s. And if insurance is a barrier, they go a step further by prescribing
brand name zepbound vials for prices close to those of compound GLP-1s. With Ro, you're not just getting a prescription, you're getting a partner in your journey that's helping you access affordable treatment and guiding you every step of the way. Whether it's insurance approvals or cost-effective alternatives, Ro is here to make sure that you get the medication you need. Visit ro.co/plus sides with a Z today to see how they can help you take control of your weight management journey with affordable, accessible care. That's ro.co/plus sides with a Z, making healthcare work for you. Check out the link in our show notes for more details. Are you interested in understanding GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro? Then join us on the Plus SideZ Cracking the Obesity Code, the groundbreaking podcast helping people change their lives one episode at a time. The Plus SideZ Podcast is a disruptor. We're breaking down barriers, smashing stereotypes, and sharing inspiring stories that'll leave you feeling informed and empowered. Join us every week to learn from doctors who are specialists around GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, and Mounjaro. They'll provide you with science and facts to validate these incredible stories. But that's not all. We'll also bring you the voices of the GLP-1 Mounjaro TikTok community, real people who face the challenges of obesity-related diseases and disorders and discovered the incredible plus sides of GLP-1 medications. Our episodes are filled with heartwarming stories, laughter, and moments of triumph. You'll connect with our amazing community members who are reclaiming their health and experiencing their fullest lives. Are you ready to embark on a journey of discovery and empowerment? Tune in to the Plus SideZ Cracking the Obesity Code, and together we'll change the narrative around obesity and end the stigma. Subscribe now on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform and join our incredible community. Let's celebrate the plus sides of life together, because every story deserves to be heard. Every life deserves to shine, and everyone deserves access to expert knowledge and medication. The Plus SideZ Podcast. You're not alone. It's not your fault.